What's going on, everyone? Juicebags here, and welcome back to some Dungeon Defenders Awakened and my speedrun to Massacre mode. We have made it into Survival Nightmare on the Ancient Mines, and that is our next destination. Let's hop on in and see how far we can make it. Now, taking a look at the stats here. I'm going to have to go through and clean up my inventory a bit, huh? Let's just get rid of everything that is not an accessory, I think. Or a pet. We'll keep those items. But here is a look at my Warden. We are going to be going heavy wisps, and we have got 496 power, 137 fort, 190 range, 301 on the rate. We are going to use some gas traps on this one, and... oh, we got some missing points there. We've got 190 fort, 253 power, 360 range. The main thing we're looking for here really is the range. We want some range here. Fort is definitely nice as well. And there we go. We've got our points into fort also. It's showing a little bit funny here when you first switch between heroes. And then on our monk, we've got everything dumped into power and range for the most part. And that is a look at the stats we're going with here. Then we've got our EV. Our EV is full on buff beams at this point with some reflect walls as well. So we've got everything dumped into power with just a little splash into rate just to get up to really just a round number is all I was looking for, to be honest. And then, of course, we have got our lovely rogue who's going to be dishing out the pain here. And there is a look at those stats. I'm still using the same weapon on the rogue and hoping to maybe find some upgrades in this particular run. We'll have to see how it goes. But let's go ahead and get things started. And we're going to start off just as we have been. We're going to go with one root. In fact, I'm going to put it up a little bit further. We're going to go with one root, and then we're going to go one wisp directly behind it. Over here, we're going to go... can we go just one root? Let's go one root, say like right there. Another root right about here. That's going to leave me 90, and we can throw just a wisp den directly behind it. And that's all we're going to use for this first wave. Let's go ahead and just burn through these beds and start collecting up some mana. Now, this particular map, we are going to have some pauses going through it as we are just going to find a lot of upgrades. Getting your first Nightmare survival done and getting not even completing it, just getting as far into the map as you can is a huge jump in stats, and this run is not going to be any different. We are going to be just absolute beast mode as soon as we get this bad boy all wrapped up here. So we're just going to spray them down just to get through this first wave, get some more mana collected up, and we will jump on forward to a wave once we have the build completed. Let's hop on forward. And here we are in wave number 5. So we went with a gas trap, an ensnare aura, and an electric aura on each side. That one root over here, and then 4 wisps on a buff beam. Over on this side, we did the same thing with the electric and ensnare. We got 2 gas traps here, but we went 6 wisps, and just for the memes and dreams, we got ourselves a lovely little shroomy pin in here as well. So we are just going to stay focused on this same build, basically, that got us through Insane Mode and got us through the Nightmare campaign, and see how it goes. We've got lots of Jinn coming out, and I'm making sure to pay attention to them. We see we've got one over on the other side right now. So the Jinn die pretty easily to my devices. However, I need to spray at them. If they get in close, then of course the wisps are taking care of business. But they are buffing things outside, so we want to be very cautious there for anything that those guys buff up. But we are looking pretty darn solid so far. So as the map runs and we get more and more enemies, of course, we're going to have lots and lots of mana. So we should be able to get everything upgraded here within just a few waves. But so far, just sticking to prioritizing the buff beams and the wisps so far, just to get to this point. But wave 5 still quite smooth. I am making sure to pay attention to to those gen that come out. Like I said, the devices are just kind of making short work of them. And then let's see how our first ogre does. Our first ogre just got wrecked. So that is the first ogre of the run. The ogres, of course, are going to get much, much healthier as we go, but we will have, hopefully, lots of upgrades to equip on our journey through this particular survival run. The difference, the before and after with this map and our stats should be just significant. So certainly looking forward to seeing exactly how much stat we can get out of this one survival. And just to see how far we can make it. You know, always anxious to see how far we can push while we're making our way through. So let's go ahead and jump on forward once again to a further wave. And here we are now on wave 10. And I want to do the first loot check here to see what kind of upgrades we have sitting here, as I have collected up a little bit of loot. This, of course, is just for the first 10 waves. However, as I keep saying over and over, the stat gains from your first Nightmare Survival are so huge. Even though we're only at wave 10, we're going to get some improvements. So let's take a look. Let's start off with the guard stuff and see what we got. That one's Plague Defense. This one's Inspired Defense. Kind of a disappointment, as I've got some nice stats on there. So actually nothing. No upgrade at all on my Warden quite yet. Let's take a look at the Huntress and the Primitive gear. We got one piece. We got big defense rate on it. We got power and range increases. We actually lose a tiny bit of range, but I think we gain so much in other areas it might be worth anyway. We've got 48 range on our old piece. Let's just go ahead and equip it, as I think we are just going to get rewarded for that one long term. Let's check out the ancient gear here. See, we got fort, power, and range. We've got all 4 stats on our other piece, but then we got that huge defense rate. So, yeah, this one is definitely worth taking. Let's go ahead and snag that one. That one's Ancient Authority, as is this one. Fort, power, and range. We've got range and just fort on our other one. We would actually lose a little bit of range and fort, but we would gain power. This one's kind of a tough call, to be honest with you, because that's a lot of range. I think I'm just going to pass on that piece. And then we've got our EV with the minor gear. Let's see, we got power, range, and rate. We got a lot of power on that passive on the old piece. Is it worth? I don't think it's worth giving up just for, well, it actually is quite a bit of rate. Let's see this one. Oh, wow. Now that one, on the other hand, that's just win all the way across. So let's just take that piece instead. And then, of course, we can look at our rogue and see if we got any DPS upgrades here. 101 power. We got increases to power, range, and rate. But we lose 24 fort for taking that one. Fort, of course, makes the devices last longer. Power makes them hit harder. Range does nothing. I think overall this is going to be a gain, so I'm going to go ahead and snag that piece, as that just looks like a good piece. Let's see the booties here. We get some rate. We got power, range, and rate on this one. We'd lose a bunch of fort. We'd gain a bunch of rate. We'd lose some power. Let's go ahead and pass on that guy. And then these have range passives. So the range passives are just a no-go on the rogue. Now let's see the weapons. Nothing absolutely impressive quite yet. Let's just go ahead and sell off everything here but the accessories. I probably have an accessory upgrade in there. And let's see what we got. Well, we don't have everything upgraded yet. We're still upgrading away here. However, things are still running super duper smooth. We also should have just got our first rock. Our first nightmare quality. Or nope, that's not till wave 15. We're only at wave 10. So we got a little ways to go there yet. But let's check back in at wave 15 and see how it's all going down. And now here we are in wave number 15. Now I think we're to the point now where we've got all of our critical defenses fully upgraded. We still have some things like ensnares. The shroomies, The Shroomies are trying so hard, but they're just not really getting anything done here. Let's be honest. See, we've got one more Wisp upgrade to do, and we'll be done there. 3.892 million damage dealt, 42 enemies pierced, 36 enemies killed, versus the Wisp right next to it. Oh yeah, it's a big difference. So the Shroomie Pit is just not getting the job done, and I actually have to repair the crap out of it every single wave, so I've got a few regrets on bringing the Shroomies, that is for sure. Let's take a look at our Mistamine Rock that we are never, ever going to use. Holy shit, look at the stats on that. 404 Vitality, 410 Attack, but it cuts your movement speed in half. I'm just not going to go for that. So let's just leave that bad boy alone, even in all of its greatness. I still need to keep an eye on the gas traps, and then, of course, like I said, this Shroomie has just been a bit of a hassle throughout. Now we got a ton of loot again. You see we're at 135 items now. I'm going to try to hold out and not do any more upgrade rounds, but I mean, just looking around at some of the pieces, we've got some fairly nice pieces sitting here ready to equip. So I'm going to let my inventory fill up just a little bit more before we get going on that. And let's take a look at Wave 15. So basically, for the most part, I've just been running around shooting. You know, I haven't been AFK. However, I haven't really been doing anything very organized. I'm not at the point where the ogres are pushing to the walls at all, so I haven't had to really do any repairs or anything there. The main thing I've been watching for really is the Jinn. So as the Jinn come out, I try to get a little damage in on them. But really, so far, it's been a super duper smooth run. And, you know, I'm pretty pleased. So I'm pleased with the gear I'm getting. Of course, as I progress forward, I'm going to get even better gear in the later waves. So looking forward to that. You know, hopefully maybe find even a couple of entry-level mythical pieces by the end of this run would be just absolutely awesome. But we are burning it up. We're getting through them here. And, you know, like I said, not really... I'm participating actively the entire time, but I'm not really doing anything super important anywhere. So, spraying on the ogres, spraying on the Jinn. If I get an ogre and a Jinn, I'm trying to get them both tagged. But you see how fast the ogres are dying right now that I've got the wisps upgraded. Most of the wisps are burning the ogres down before they, long before they get to my roots. So we're in pretty solid shape right now. Taking a look, we got another ogre. Let's see how long this one lasts with some devices. Yeah, actually, I didn't even get all my devices off. So, poor little ogre. So, let's go ahead and bounce on forward once again to, the point where we do another gear check, which I think, assuming we make it that far, it will probably be right around Wave 20. But let's go ahead and bounce on forward. Alright, now Wave 20 is upon us. We've got everything full up now, shy of... some gas traps, which I think we'll be able to get fully upped after this one. Actually, that one's already up. That one's upped. I even did the reflect beam over here. So everything is fully upped now. I think we've got a few more ups left on these reflect beams. But it is time once again, y'all. Let's take a look at the loot. And, oh yeah, we got loot. And as you see, there's a few mythical pieces on the ground right here. Let's go ahead and loot those up so we can include those in our little search here. We've got another mythical piece over here on the ground, a guard piece, and oh, that looked shiny, didn't it? Let's see. Let's start off with our warden and the guard set. So, oh man, we got 2 pages of guard gear here. Look at that, all 4 stats, big ups across the board. Now, we got that big 115 power as a passive on this one, which we are going to be losing out on. But the stat gains are so huge in every other area that I think I'm going to take them anyway, as that is just crazy, crazy good. See, we got fort range and rate. We got no power on this one, but we gained so much power from that passive. Let's take that too. Oh man, fort power range rate. We lose a little bit of rate on this one, Actually, we only lose 4 points of rate, it looks like, because our gain is so much. And we gain Mad Fort. So yeah, let's go ahead and equip that piece. Oh man, we are just looking really, really good here now. So, I mean, that one's got a great passive on it. It's actually the wrong defense. Uh-oh, I picked, oh, those gloves are Plague Defense. So we need to go with some Guardian's Grace gloves. Let's see if we can't find a nice pair in here that will get the job done. Well, I mean, good gosh, right? We lose fort, range, and rate, but look at the power we get. We gain, what, 30 plus power, but we gain our passive back, so, or our set bonus back, pardon me. So, lots and lots of gear, and in fact, I think it is even time to get rid of Legendary on our loot filter, maybe. Holy crap, right? That's just crazy, but let's go ahead and get rid of all of this guard stuff here and free up some more inventory space, because you see we are just filling up quick. Let's take a look at our Huntress. Now our Huntress is in the primitive set, and oh yeah, power, range, rate. Good lord, the gains are enormous. Let's go ahead and take that piece. This one I'm not as concerned with because I'm just using them for the gas, you know? I mean, that's got all 4 stats on it, and everything is an improvement, so that's kind of a no-brainer there. We're still 4 of 4 on our set bonus here. Man, we're just looking really good. Now, let's just go ahead and do the same thing here. I'm going to do the smarter route here, and then just select all, and we will sell all of those 42 items. And next up, let's check out the Monk and the Ancient gear. We see this piece right out of the gates. That is so enormous. That's a huge upgrade. So let's snag that. Let's see, we got fort, power, and range here. Everything is an upgrade, even the passive, a direct upgrade with rate. Let's snag that as well. Let's see, we do have a chest piece, a little bit of a chest piece weakness here. Now, I don't want to give up that 61 range. So let's see what we got. Well, I mean, right here's the answer, right? We get more range, more fort, power, and rate. So we're doing really good. But holy crap, now look at this piece. The loot is just flowing. There's no doubt. Just really good pieces. Let's take a look at the heads, though, and see if we can find a really nice shiny headpiece. One with all 4 stats, maybe? That would be incredible, right? Doesn't look like I'm going to get so lucky, but look at the range on that one. It's got fort, power, and rate. It actually loses a little bit of range. Or no, it doesn't. It loses a little bit of power. I think I'll pass on that one as well. So let's just go ahead and get rid of all of this ancient stuff. What do we have left? We've got our EV in the miner gear. Doesn't look like we have any mythical pieces, but I bet we've got some fatty upgrades. Do we even need to worry about it? You know what? I'm just not even going to worry about it. I'm going to go ahead and just sell all of this stuff off. What does that leave us here? We still got 174 items. We didn't look at the militia piece yet, and this should be some big gains for our rogue damage, no doubt. So let's see. We got a piece there. That's a huge up. We got a piece here that's a pretty big up. I mean, this is going to make our devices hit so hard. We got some gloves there. That's a pretty nice upgrade, but that power passive I really like. How about boots? Do we have any really good boots sitting here? We don't need that range passive on this one. Let's see. Fort, power, and rate with more power. That is an upgrade there. Let's go ahead and sell all this stuff off. That puts us down to 138 items. We still got a lot of loot sitting here. What did we not check? Well, we got a bunch of weapons. Now, let's see. For main hand weapons, what do we have? We want to make sure it keeps Inspired Assault. And I'd like to get something that's going to help out my offhand, my ranged damage. So, you know, obviously something with like a stat. Casting would be good. This is not bad. It gives you a 1.35% chance of boosting your attack rate. I think we'll go with that one for now. Let's see. Let's go with that one for right now. Is there any better swords in here, though? I don't think I'm going to find a better gun than what I have, especially considering I dumped all that coin into it. So all that mana gone. I don't think I'm going to find a better gun, but, you know, we did find some nice upgrades there. So let's go ahead and clear up this page as well. That's 130 items. It gets us back down to 8 items in our inventory. We got bracers that we can equip here now, and I've still got heroes without bracers. So good stuff there for sure. Anything is better than nothing. There's a little bit of mana regen. Let's take that. We actually, all of these masks are upgrades as well. Literally every one. There's another one with HP regen. So we got 2 HP regen pieces. I think I said mana regen, but HP regen. So good stuff there, and we are just looking so solid. Now we're level 72 now. We do have a few points to put in. However, I'm not going to sweat it because it's not a considerable amount, and we're at wave 20. Now, as you may have noticed, that bad boy pet, that nice giraffe I got from my insane survival prime run, yeah, I went and pulled a juice and accidentally sold that item. So I'm really hoping to be able to clear this map and, you know, maybe get myself another shiny giraffe to equip on my rogue here, since I accidentally sold that one. Now, the Shroomy Pit here has been more of a hindrance than anything, because now we're at the point where if I just leave it, it will eventually expire. And of course, it's going to take my buff beam with it if it does. So now I've got something that I have to babysit that isn't really giving me a big benefit. So I kind of feel like the Shroomy Pit was, I mean, it was there for the memes anyway, but I kind of feel like it was a bit of a waste. Now, as I mentioned, I think it's time just to go ahead and get rid of the legendary gear. So let's just do that while the map is running. Let's head on into our loot filter. And now we are going to only save mythical and above. So all this other stuff is going to sell. And that is really going to free up tons of room in my inventory as the rest of this map is progressing, as it's not just going to spam my inventory with random stuff. So it's got to be mythical or we aren't going to bother looting it. And we got some nice gains on this run. That is for sure. Now let's go ahead and jump on forward, hopefully to wave 25 and a victory lap. But we will have to see if we're going to make it that far. And here we are at last at wave 25. And we take a look at the TAC map. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, and 8 right underneath me. We've got 8 mythical items just laying on the ground. And taking a look at some of the stat gains. Oh my gosh, we are just looking at some huge gains that we're going to get for completing this one. However, it is not done yet. Wave 25 is still upcoming here. Now, as I mentioned before, I've got big regrets on this stupid Shroomy. It's been a real pain in the butt. I've had to come down and do some really fast repairs to keep it from dying in the heat of battle. In part because I haven't been paying much attention to it. But yeah, the Shroomy there was not necessarily for the win. It's just there for the fun of it. But it is getting some shots in. I mean, it's not putting out big damage. We take a look. It's done 100 million damage now. It's killed 744 enemies. So, I mean, it's done something. But, you know, compare that to, say, a Wisp. 1,000 enemies killed. Another 600 enemies killed. I guess it's not doing terrible, really, to be honest. But it has been a hassle coming over and repairing it. Of course, it acts like a trap, so it's going to lose charges, even if it doesn't hit anything. If it runs out, it loses a charge. So we see we've got mythical stuff dropping here. We got a mythical shield for our Squire. That one looks like it was level 78 requirement. I am going to be getting some level 78 requirement mythicals here. As the entry-level stuff is level 70, However, there will be some stuff that I can't use yet from this map. However, this gives me just a huge head start to get going and get through the Nightmare campaign. Now, we're level 73 now, so we still have to get 10 more levels. So we have to beat the summit on Nightmare, so we're going to have to play through the Nightmare campaign, and then we're going to have to get 10 more levels. So I'm thinking I'm going to kind of rinse and repeat of what I did in Insane mode. So after this survival run, I'll go ahead and run on through the Nightmare campaign, and then head to like Prom on survival to grind out those final levels to get myself up to 83 where I can hop into Massacre mode. We've only got 64 enemies left. This has been a complete steamroll. Easiest first Nightmare survival I have ever done in the history of the game. But it was fun. I mean, it did require, a smart build. It required getting lots of upgrades in. It did require getting some DPS in on these ogres prior to me getting the wisps all upgraded. Now that the wisps are upgraded, of course, they are just wrecking. And let's see our shiny giraffe right here. Oh, come on, be a good one. Oh my gosh, it's a godly giraffe that's only level 70. Vitality, attack, and ability. Look at the stat gains here. Hold on 1 minute. Let me look at my stats. That may double my stats right there. Let's see. I'm 152 vitality, 434 attack, and 134 ability. By equipping this giraffe, holy crap. Would you look at the stat gains right there on my rogue? So good stuff. My rogue has a shiny. I've got it equipped, so I can't accidentally derp and sell it. That's just beautiful. And we got ourselves our very first survival win. So thank you all so much for watching. This playthrough really has been a lot of fun, trying to go through and just minimize the amount of maps it takes to get all the way through and up to Massacre mode. And we are just on a roll, making some great progress here now. So thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you soon with some more Dungeon Defenders in all of its various flavors, shapes, and forms. Thanks again, y'all, and I will see ya next time around. Take it easy.